Pelvic alignment and its dynamic control ability is essential for thoracic mobility, and so it has a tremendous influence on management of forward head posture. Let's understand with one simple example. For our normal walking, what we required equal and opposite rotation between pelvis and thoracic cage. So if one side mobility restricted in pelvis will affect thoracic mobility. That was a simple example of transverse plane rotation that influenced thoracic rotatory mobility, and the same was true for the sagittal plane motion. Hello friends, I am Sudarshan Joshi, instructor from Braun Institute, and you all are watching Braun for Physio Community. Today's video is continuum of the series forward head posture. Yes, treatment 4.2. So let's start. So friend, as we discussed in first part of the case study, that placing the head forward is an attempt of motor control cortex to bring your COG within the base of support. And if this reaction sustained for a longer time, the facial adaptations occur in your head, shoulder, thoracic spine, and thus it completes picture of forward head presentation. So in last video of treatment section, we discussed about how ankle sagittal plane alignment affects your pelvis, or alignment of ankle in sagittal plane has effects on pelvis. Friends, these are the treatment strategies we designed in earlier video, and we already discussed about the ankle alignment. And now today we are going to discuss over the pelvic alignment and the thoracic mobility, that is thoracolumbar and cervicothoracic junction mobility and stability. When treating pelvis in context to forward head posture, we are taken two chief aim. First one is that make pelvic neutral from sagittal perspective, that is make it free from any malpositions in sagittal plane, that may be a anterior or posterior pelvic tilt or anterior or posterior pelvic shift. Second chief aim is that to enhance the dissociation between pelvis and femur. As we already discussed about the sitting posture and association between pelvic and femur, how it affects our forward head posture. So in this treatment section, we try to achieve these two chief aims with pelvis. Friends, in earlier video we discussed about the tibial vertical alignment over the foot, and we already seen how effective it is to neutralize various pelvic displacements. But we should remember always one thing, that freeing the range is not enough. We need to make muscle habitual or efficient in that particularly newly gained range. So then only we can create a effective and sustainable change. And for this purpose, when I am talking with the context of pelvis, my favorite tool is DNS. Though various soft tissues or manual techniques can create the same change, but I choose DNS because it provides me dual solution. It will free the range, as well as simultaneously it will enhance the muscle in newly gained range too. So dual purpose, single exercise. Let's start. So friend, we will use DNS quadruped position, and we will use exercise that is forward and backward rocking. It's very simple. So before going to perform exercise, there are prerequisite or positional requisite. First of all, while adopting a quadruped position, spine should be neutral and well elongated. There should not be any excessive flexion or extension throughout the spine. Second thing about the shin. So your shin of tibia should be well contact with the ground. If foot are inhibiting this or restricting full contact, just perform this exercise on the edge of bed so that you can make a firm contact with the shin, because shin loading is very much essential in quadruped position. Third thing, your shoulder should not be elevated, it should be neutral, and a simple instruction is that keep your shoulder away from your ears. And fourth thing, while rocking forward and backward, we will use L5S1 joint as our reference, and a simple instruction is that while rocking either forward or in backward position, we should keep this L5S1 junction neutral. So friends, forward rocking is used for control the anterior pelvic tilt, and backward for enhance the pelvic femoral dissociation, which we require with sustained sitting positions, as well as to treat the posterior pelvic tilt. And single instruction that first repeat the movements couple of times, and after that repetition hold the end position for 20 to 25 seconds without holding your breath. And we all must remember about the cross syndrome, lower cross syndrome, and we can choose the forward rocking position so that all the muscles that are short and tight will gain eccentric lengthening, and all the muscles that are weak will trained or will be get activated in newly gained range. So single exercise with dual purpose. Same as with the posterior or backward rocking. So backward rocking, when we are kept our L5S1 joint neutral, will be used for dissociation between the pelvis and femur. So it will open the posterior part of muscles, especially proximal hamstring, that is most responsible for association. And this dissociation, along with this dissociation, we also gained a neutral pelvic. So these forward and backward rocking positions we use to keep the pelvic in neutral. Now for our next requirement, that is thoracic mobility, we use again a next DNS position, that is low quadruped position. Instructions are the same as the quadruped position, that keep your spine elongated, keep your shoulder away from your ears, that is shoulder should not be elevated, and your weight should be equally distributed between your forearm and your shin. And same L5S1 junction kept as a reference point to it should be neutral. And movements are a thoracic rotation. This will gain or enhance mobility in thoracic spine. In thoracic spine, what exactly we require? We require a elongation or extension at CT junction, cervicothoracic junction, as well as in upper thoracic spine, that are mostly in flexed and stiff positions, as well extended thoracolumbar junction. So with these simple low quadruped exercise, again we will achieve dual purpose, that is to keep neutral extended thoracolumbar junction and to keep elongated and gain mobility in flexed and stiff CT junction, as well as in upper thoracic spine. For sake of understanding, we divided treatment into two sections, and in this video we discussed over pelvic stability and neutral pelvis along with the thoracic mobility. See you soon with next treatment video. Till that, thank you very much. Bye bye.